This story is about Minryu, who was forced to enter a deadly game. He was given 100 times regression ability for his unique rune. After regressing 99 times, he was finally able to enter the final round of the game. There he defeated hundreds of golems and entered a large temple. Hoping to end the game by defeating the boss monster, he was shocked to see a message window appeared stating that the requirement to challenge the final boss was at least 5 players, and due to not meeting the requirement, the lone player will perish. He retaliated, but his attack was stopped by a light barrier. Looking at the hopeless situation, he accepted his fate. The window message appeared, stating about the player's death, and with this his final 100th regression begins. Our story begins in a desolate place filled with death. No sign of life is seen anywhere. The protagonist of this story stated that all humans have the desire to live. If not, he would not have struggled so hard. Our protagonist arrived in a hallway, stating that after 99 tries he was finally able to get to this point, and he finally will be able to see the end this time. The final 20th round, which was filled with giant guardian golems. They seemed to be protecting a door behind them. Our protagonist thought that the guardian golems would not just step aside, so he unleashes his giant black scythe. The golems started to move and prepared to launch an attack on our protagonist. In retaliation, our protagonist prepared his attack and cast the insignia of death skill on a guardian golem. With the skill in place, our protagonist successfully slices the guardian's neck with his scythe, and with the help of his skill, 100% additional damage was added. The guardians began to swarm in groups, so the protagonist cast the Knight of Death skill, taking away their sight. With the guardian golem in complete darkness and unable to see anything, the protagonist finishes off the guardian with the slice of his scythe, clearing away the darkness. Despite all that, the number of guardians did not decrease much. The guardian golems started attacking with fire and ice skills, and our protagonist was barely able to dodge the attack. To get out of this situation and for a successful counterattack, he decided to speed up as well, creating multiple afterimages of himself with his tremendous speed. The guardian golem used a powerful fire attack to destroy several of the afterimages, but it was unable to hit the protagonist's main body. Suddenly, a magic circle appeared on the floor, catching the protagonist by surprise. Unable to dodge the spell, the protagonist was trapped in the giant ice pillar. A golem guardian attempted to destroy the ice pillar, while the protagonist was still trapped inside. However, by utilizing the skill Moonlight of Destruction, the protagonist was able to break free from the ice and slice the golem in half. Thinking that was a close call, and he would have taken a lot of damage if the guardian was able to hit him successfully, he decided to end things quickly in one go. The guardians prepared various magic attacks, but the protagonist casted the Blood Moon skill, slicing away all the remaining guardians with a single hit. With the defeat of all the guardians, the protagonist decides to enter the room the guardians were protecting. Upon entering the room, he saw a massive temple with many doors leading to different paths. Our protagonist chooses the door located at the center. Suddenly, a golden circle begins to appear below the protagonist, which lead him to think that he will finally be able to end this game. But the reality was different. To enter the boss room, the requirement was to have at least 5 players. The message window stated that the player would perish in 5 seconds for not meeting the entry requirement. This message baffled the protagonist. Thinking that it was intentional, the protagonist tried to attack, but the barrier stopped him from doing so. With the countdown coming to an end and seeing no hope for survival, the protagonist decides to accept his fate. With this, the countdown ended, and the message window appeared, announcing the death of the player. Afterward, a new message window appeared announcing the fulfillment of the time reversal rune requirement. With this, the player will be sent back to a time before the first round started. With the 100 uses of the rune used up, the message window stated that the imprinted rune would automatically perish. With that, the final 100th regression had started. We are taken back to a time just before the new year starts. There are 5 seconds left for the new year to come, and people are starting to count down. Our protagonist, Minryu, stands amidst a bustling crowd. He is baffled by the fact that despite all his efforts to reach the 20th round, he still died, and he comes back to the past just before the beginning of the death game. He has used up all of his time reversal rune uses, and now it's his final try. With unwavering determination, he thought that he would see this game through to the end. For that to happen, he needs to find 4 more people. A few minutes ago, a few students were celebrating becoming adults, and they would no longer need fake IDs. For buying alcohol, I suppose. One of them brings up a question as to what he should do after his graduation. He thought of trying to be a food delivery person. He asked his friend Youngmin about his plans for after graduation. Youngmin confidently stated that he has plans to become a gangster. His other friend, shocked and confused, asked him if he was joking, but Youngmin denied it and stated that he was going to live the way he wanted. Thinking that Youngmin was a psycho, they thought about cutting off their contact with him. They asked Youngmin about his errand boy plans after graduation. Youngmin stated that he won't let him go even after graduation, and it's not up to him to decide what he wants to do. Youngmin's friend spotted the errand boy they were talking about. It was none other than our protagonist, Min Ryu. Youngmin confirmed the person to be the same while the crowd was counting down. Min Ryu glanced back at Youngmin while Youngmin stated that he seemed different than his usual self. Youngmin got furious at Min Ryu for glaring at him, but his friend stopped him and asked to let him go on account of the new year. With this, the countdown came to an end, and the new year started. Everyone was celebrating the new year when they heard a woman's voice. The voice commented that humans are funny. They were celebrating the new year without knowing the predicament they were in. Everyone got confused about the voice. The voice was coming from the sky. A beautiful woman with wings was flying in the sky. She stated that watching everyone being oblivious and in shock was like watching monkeys in a cage. People were confused and thought that the broadcast station was doing some events and the angel was pretty. On the other hand, Min Ryu knew what was going on. He thought that even after 99 regressions, she was still displeasing. The angel laughed and mocked the people so they would not get any strange idea about her. To her, they were no different than vermin. The angel stated that after seeing their reaction, she knew that they could hear her. One person shouted that what her problem was to calling them vermin while cosplaying as an angel. This remark infuriated the angel. And the next second, the man who made that remark got his head blown away. The nearby people panicked and chaos spread. The angel stated how lowly humans dare to speak to her in that manner. They don't have the right to question her as they are not on the same level as her. She threatens to blow their heads off if they try to irritate her again. The angel acknowledged the confusion, so she started to explain the situation to them. Min Ryu was tired of hearing the explanation so many times throughout all his regressions. The angel stated that they would be transported to another dimension to play a game which has 20 rounds. In the game, they have to complete the given quest. If they complete the quest, they will return to reality with a reward. The people were confused by what the angel was talking about. Continuing, the angel stated that not everyone will survive even if they complete the quest. Only half of the majority will survive in order of quest completion. The crowd was shocked at the statement, so the angel gave them some hope, saying that she would only take people between the ages of 15 and 29 across the planet. Min Ryu contemplated that he never would have expected to repeat the game 100 times when he was first dragged to the game in the new year. The older people were happy with the angel's statement about the age limit. A fight was about to start between the young and old, but Youngmin stopped it. He asked them to settle down and listen to the situation. The angel calculated all the humans who fall under the age limit, and the number was around 1.8 billion. With that, the angel finished her explanation and announced the start of the game. Min Ryu was transported into a white plane. The angel explained they needed to create a body before the spatial transfer, so they should think of this place for customizing their character. She mentioned that they would only get one chance. Min Ryu thought of going with his usual character body and nicknaming himself Black Scythe. The scene shifted to a huge grassland. Min Ryu's new body, Black Scythe, was materialized, and this marked the official start of his 100th try. Black Scythe thought that after using the same appearance since the 12th try, this body feels like his real body now. Everyone else also started to appear one by one, wondering about their new appearance and the new place they were in. Black Scythe contemplates that everyone was trying to look their best. But if you stop and think for a second, in a world of survival of the fittest, if you are too attractive, you will more likely be a target. And death here means that you will die in the real world as well. Black Scythe thought that it was almost time for Youngmin to appear. Black Scythe thought commented on Youngmin's decision to choose a muscular body once again this time. The angel appeared, commenting that, seeing their happy faces, they must be happy about their newly created avatars. The angel calculated that about 1.8 million players are here, the same as there were in Seoul. The people were confused about the number because there were not many people present there. The angel shouted in anger that this was not the only space, and there were other planes with other angels progressing through the round. Giving a simple explanation, the angel asked everyone to think about the word status window. Black Scythe thought of the word and a window appeared in front of him, displaying his current state. After seeing his stats, he wanted to sigh in disappointment. The angel stated that after seeing their current stats, they should know how trash they were and ask them to become stronger, and if they survive to the end and clear round 20, They will not only be released from this survival game, but also be granted a wish. This statement motivated the players. The angel gave them a last advice to check their inventory. There is a present there. Youngman thought about inventory and a window appeared. There was a random rune fragment inside. The angel stated that the random rune fragment is a one-time use item and can only be used in level 1. It is the only item that they will receive at the start. She told them to use the item. They need to hold it in their hand and think of the word use. Youngman grabbed the rune fragment and thought of the word use, and instantly, the rune dissipated. The angel remarked that judging by the expression of everyone, she could tell whether they were fortunate or not, but it was the luck of the draw, so they stuck with what they got. With the rune imprint coming to an end, the angel snapped her fingers, and a quest appeared for round 1, which was to defeat 100 goblins per person. Suddenly a goblin appeared. The players marveled about it being the same as in the games. Some people still don't believe in the current situation and think they were kidnapped to test some sort of advanced virtual reality game. The angel asked them not to be excited just yet, and with that, thousands of goblins started being summoned. Everyone got scared after seeing the goblins' number. It was 10,000 humans versus 50,000 goblins. The angel commenced the battle to the death. The goblins started to rush towards the players. Black Scythe took the lead while the other tried to tell him about the danger. With swiftness, he kicked the goblin down. To be continued. If you want to watch the next part, then like and subscribe and let me know in the comment of what recap you want to watch next.